Welcome back. All right, let's get some more analysis now on the situation in Zimbabwe. Joining me in studio is Lehana Tsotetsi, our senior political reporter here at the SABC. Lehana, welcome. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, let's start with the fact that the deadline has passed and everybody's waiting and watching to see if there's anything coming out of Zimbabwe with regards to the call for the president to step down by midday.
I think we haven't had anything at the moment, and we also still waiting to hear what the outcome should be. But we know that the ruling party, the ZANU-PF, has called on President Robert Mugabe to step down. But I must just mention that this is not the first time that the president has been asked to step down. This happened in 2002 when there were elections. There was a strong lobby against the president not to stand as a party leader. But Mugabe made it, and then he actually led the meeting, and he crushed all those during the Politburo meeting. And it emerged again in 2006, 2007. There was a group which was led by Tabengwa, and then, if I recall well, and Simba Makoni, that opposed Mugabe to lead the party. But again, Mugabe made it. So I think the only way now, which I think would be proper for him to go, it won't just be recalling him as a party leader. That they can do, but constitutionally, it's a process. It has to go through parliament. That is, if they use the impeachment method.
Yeah, and impeachment doesn't just happen in a day. I mean, it will be a lengthy process. Impeachment,
it's a process. The Senate and the Assembly has to meet. And after meeting, they have to decide on what is it that, because impeachment is like charging. They have to sit down and decide on what is it that they will be laying against President Mugabe. And it's something that needs committees to sit down, discuss it, and then there will be a seven-member committee that will now have to sit down and decide on what are the charges that can be brought against Mugabe to leave office. And only through then it has to go through the voting process, and whereby the majority, if it wins, then the president can get impeached. But for now, it's a process that will take some days to go through. It's not something that can be done overnight.
But you're saying that this looks like the most likely set of events that should happen, is that this lengthy impeachment process will get underway.
It's likely that it will get underway, and if Parliament, like I say, and the National Assembly and the Senate gets that special meeting, because now the ZANU-PF, they can say, no, we want him, it's fine. They don't want him as a party leader, and they want to recall him as a president, but they don't have the powers to recall him from the State House. It's only Parliament and National Assembly which can do that.
And just going back to what you said about how he has survived two previous calls for him to step down and not run for elections. I mean, when you look at what happened last night, everyone is so shocked, but were we really expecting him to step down, especially last night? I mean, we couldn't have really honestly said he's going to come a few hours earlier and resign and step down when the deadline was actually midday today. So we can't really be that shocked.
And this can also lead to a lot of justifications, because, look, he's a head of state. And if he goes to a meeting of that kind, which was held yesterday, where he was asked to resign and read a statement or so, if he can do that, that can be declared as a coup. Because now he read that in front of the army, that I'm now resigning. It's like he's being forced to do it. So clever as he is, I don't think President Mugabe would have done that. Hence, he deviated and sort of read what I can call a reconciliatory speech, which something like that begs for grace and time to bow out. He wouldn't have done that, but I guess in the party itself, he can do it. Although he even says that the party did not have a mandate to recall him because it was not formed in the proper way, because even the SG was not there. So it's a very complicated issue.
And we can't talk about Mugabe stepping down without talking about ZANU-PF. They have such power, they have such political leverage, and even if there is a transition, it remains to be seen whether there will be a complete reset or whether there will still be this political hegemony under ZANU-PF.
You know, ZANU-PF, it's a very strong party. For it to be shaken up, it will need a lot of things. But for now, one can say that all these things that are happening now are not new within ZANU.
Yeah.
The very same people that are now calling for President Mugabe, these are some of the people who are working with Mugabe in the government. But now for ZANU to come and call him, yes, they will recall him, but like I say, it will take time. But it's a question of time for ZANU to rebuild itself, because these are just differences within the party itself, which if resolved, then Zimbabwe can be back on track.
And then lastly, before we run out of time, we have to look at Emmerson Mnangagwa, and the fear is that he's not the right person to take the country to a solid ground where they should be. And there are fears that, you know, he isn't the right person. Well,
according to the ZANU-PF, he's the right person. But this is the very same Mnangagwa who some years ago, when the party wanted to force Mugabe to step down, he didn't want the party to force Mugabe to step down.
Yeah.
He actually supported Mugabe. Yeah. But now it looks like Mugabe has turned against him, surely because of other reasons within the party or allegations that Mugabe's wife had something to do with this, you know, putting hatred within the party. But ZANU-PF believes that Mnangagwa is the right person to lead them. And so if they believe that he's the right person, let's see how it pans out.
Yeah. Lehana, thank you so much for that. Our senior political reporter, Lehana Tsotetsi, who I'm sure will be monitoring what will happen over the next few hours as that deadline that was given to President Mugabe to step down has come and gone.